environment where there's a certain expectation that you're going to be correcting them a lot. I mean, that's kind of how society sees teachers. That's not necessarily the case, but if you're dealing with a kid who's going through, as we said, a phase, or having some struggles, how do you continue to find those opportunities for appreciation? Because that's come up several times so far in our discussion.
Right, so yes, definitely. So some kids are going to be a lot easier to work with. So their personalities just flow, and they love to learn, and they're open, and they're teachable, and they're humble. And then there are those kids who want to question everything, not just verbally, but they're going to question it with their body language. Right. They're going to test every possible limit. And these kids are really tough emotionally sometimes to deal with. So it's a great question.
I will say this. Let me just as a from the trenches, maybe we put these signs up around our house that are 100 ways to praise a child.
Yes.
And so they're hanging up all over the place, and some of them are silly, and we say them sometimes. But sometimes with one with a kid, it's just hard to find the opportunities to use them. It's not that you're not thinking about it. I don't always think about it, but that's tough. But that has been useful. I would say that.
I think so. Having just specific reminders to kind of catch you and remind you of what is it that we need to be doing, and but then also having some key mindsets of some assumptions, and we've also put some of these on our walls.
Right.
Okay, some of these mindsets are, what are our expectations around failure as the mechanism for learning?
Okay.
And so what are the
I believe in that. Yeah, that's great.
Right, so kind of like whether it's looking at famous failures in history who struggled as young learners, who tested all kinds of limits, who didn't fit the mold. How did they get through it themselves? So I have a list of famous failures, people like Walt Disney and Michael Jordan and Edison and things like that who had all, really any famous failure is going to have a wake of failure behind them. And that any
famous success is going to have a wake of failures behind them.
Exactly, and so when I use failure, I always use it in quotation marks because it's just code. To me, it's kind of like that famous Japanese proverb we probably all heard: "Fall down 7, get up 8." Right. Failure is only if you fall down 7 and don't get back up. And so we have to, when a kid's not getting it, we have to assume he's not getting it, yet.
Right.
We need to change our languaging. So that, because typically when we get frustrated ourselves as a parent or a teacher, our emotions as human beings tend to speak only in the now and only in all or nothing statements. So he's not getting it. Of course, and if he's not getting it, then I've got a real problem, and the kid's got a real problem. Because either they're not getting it because they're just being obstinate and resistant and defiant, or they're not getting it because there's something wrong with me. I'm failing in my job, and I'm not a good enough teacher, not a good parent. So that's going to create irritation, annoyance, anger, and frustration. But if I just change my language to, he's not getting it yet, then that implies he will get it. That implies maybe he's not getting it because he's not understanding it yet. Maybe I don't know how to teach it well.
Right.
But that's okay. I'm brand new at this too because you've been doing this for 11 years. I've been a parent for 19 years. And this is my first go-round as a parent of a 19-year-old. This is your first go-round as a parent of an 11-year-old. To allow not just the kids to fail, but create enough space that it's okay for us as parents/teachers to be able to fail. It's okay to not know, as long as we're willing to. And I think that's the thing that a lot of parents/kids get caught in a fight with, in a power struggle, is the assumption that the parent knows everything.
Right.
And I think it's really okay for us to just say, you know what, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.